So, nearly 3 decades after the end of apartheid, some families of victims of political killings and disappearances in South Africa say that they're still waiting for justice. Many of the cases were identified quite a while ago, and the situation sadly continues to be unpacked. Well, now a new commission of inquiry chaired by retired Constitutional Court Justice Sisi Kampepe is examining allegations that political interference may have blocked those cases from moving forward. Challenges that could halt the inquiry, though. To discuss what this means for the families who've waited decades for accountability, we're now joined by Kasia Zdunczyk, who's Programme Manager for the TRC Programme at the Foundation for Human Rights. Thank you very much indeed for joining us, and welcome to the programme.
Hello, good morning. Thank you so much for having me today.
Nearly 30 years after South Africa's Truth and Reconciliation Commission completed its work, why are so many families of apartheid-era victims still searching for justice today?
Like when the Truth and Reconciliation Commission winded up its operations back in early 2000, the promise was that those perpetrators who did not receive amnesty or who did not apply for amnesty would be investigated and prosecuted in the normal course of action by the National Prosecuting Authority and investigated by the police. Well, that has really not happened. There were only a handful of cases that were taken forward in the period between 2003 and 2017, while the families have continued waiting and fighting for justice. And we learned only in 2015 through one of the court applications that the reason for the delay might have been the political interference by the executive into the work of the police and National Prosecuting Authority. Since that time in 2015, families have been searching for answers from the executive. They advocated for the setting up of the Commission of Inquiry to look into the delays and the reasons for the delays and the people who were implicated. But despite numerous letters and many advocacy efforts, the commission was not set up. So the Kampepe Commission was only established by President Ramaphosa as a result of the court application that was brought by the 25 families and survivors and the Foundation for Human Rights back in January last year. This case really concerned why the alleged political interference took place, and also seek constitutional damages and the setting up of the Kampepe Commission of Inquiry, at that time the Commission of Inquiry, of course. So as a result of the partial settlement with the president, the Kampepe Commission was set up in May last year, and it initially faced multiple delays, but it eventually started its work and started hearings in February this year.
So, from what you've heard so far, what's emerged from the hearings, how serious are the allegations about interference?
Well, I think that for the moment we've heard from the representatives of victims' family, Lukanyu Kalata and Thembi Simelane, who've really put lots of efforts into this fight for justice. Lukanyu for his late father, Thembi for her late sister, Nokutula Simelane. And then, of course, we've heard from the former NDPP, Vusi Pikoli, and former high NPA officials such as Ramaiti and Anton Ackerman. And it's clear from the testimonies of Pikoli and Ackerman, as well as Ramaita, that there were political pressure put on them not to proceed with the TRC cases. We didn't hear, of course, the same allegations coming from Bulelani Nguka, but when he was in office, that issues really we don't really have evidence that these issues emerged at that time, but that they started at around 2003. So we have some allegations and some evidence that is being put forward before the Commission of Inquiry that this political interference indeed happened. And of course, if the Commission finds that the political interference took place and that the political pressure was put on the police and the NPA, that these are like serious findings that could have serious consequences.
So, I mean, it took decades to get this far, but there certainly have been and continue to be some court legal challenges that could disrupt the Commission's work. What exactly are the main concerns at this stage? And this must be taking its toll on the families that have traveled this journey so long.
Yes, well, of course, the commission was eventually established and it started its work in February this year, which was welcomed not only by the 25 families who put forward or filed the court papers in January last year, but many other survivors and victims' families of apartheid-era crimes. However, the commission work is currently being challenged by former presidents Mbeki and Zuma, who filed initial applications asking for the recusal of Justice Sisi Hampepe. They claim she is biased, partially because she did occupy certain positions in the NPA and the Truth and Reconciliation Commission, but also they claim that that were some inappropriate communication between Sisi Hampepe and her evidence leader, Advocate Ish Semenya. They also put forward some other reasons for her recusal, but this initial application was dismissed by Justice Hampepe. So currently, we are in the stage where both presidents, Zuma and Mbeki, have filed court papers before the High Court, challenging and asking for the review of the dismissal of this application by Justice Sisi Hampepe. Basically, what the presidents are asking for the court is firstly to remove Justice Hampepe as a chair of the commission, and secondly, to declare all decisions, proceedings, and declarations made by the Commission up until now nullified. So both presidents have refused to cooperate with the Commission and have refused to appear before the Commission, claiming that Justice Hampepe is biased, and now they are asking for a review of her of the dismissal, before the High Court. Of course, this is devastating news for the families. The families' main concern is that the commission proceeds. This is the commission that looks into the delays into investigations and prosecutions of TRC cases, and now it is being further delayed through this review challenge before the High Court in South Africa.
Help us understand who is doing the investigating and who is trying to find the evidence. The families are coming forward and speaking their piece, but who's really running this? Is it Justice Hampepe and her legal team and investigators? Who's running it?
So the Commission of Inquiry is, of course, the Judicial Commission of Inquiry. It's like an investigative body. So the Commission has its investigative capacity, as well as a number of advocates who have been retained as evidence leaders, with Advocate Ish Semenya as its chief evidence leaders. So these people are responsible for collecting and gathering evidence of political interference. The Commission did issue notices to people who are potential persons of interest before the Commission. So that would include Presidents Beki and Zuma, who were simply in office when the alleged political interference had occurred. But as such, the main investigative responsibility lays within the Commission itself. Of course, other parties can come forward to the Commission with the information if they have such. So the 25 families and the FHR, through our lawyers, we've made extensive submissions at the beginning of the Commission, where we submitted a number of documents, affidavits, and other statements as part of this evidence component.
All right. I mean, it's a story that continues to unfold, and we'll certainly keep on top of that, and hopefully chat to you again for further updates. But for today, Kasia, thank you very much indeed for joining us and sharing these important insights on this ongoing inquiry.
Thank you so much for having me. Have a good day. Goodbye.
So that's Kasia Zdunczyk, who's a program manager for the TRC program at the Foundation for Human Rights, giving us an update on this action to try and get to the bottom of whether there was political interference in terms of stopping post-TRC inquiry prosecutions that should have or ought to have taken place. It's 7:30. It's time